In NLC meeting with federal government ends in deadlock. Recent viral video of gang behind killing of Auda DPO stirs comments. Police move to recover unlicensed firearms from politicians' VIPs. Nostra urged to make public investigation findings on Aleto oil spill. On the foreign scene, China sends top envoy to Russia for security talks. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifeyemi Andrew. The meeting between the federal government and the NLC to avert an imminent strike ended yesterday without a concrete resolution. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, and the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Ikiruka Nyejocha, met with the NLC President Joe Ajaero and other leaders in Abuja in an effort to stop organised labour from embarking on another industrial action this week. The meeting is expected to continue at a later date. Earlier, the Labour Minister urged the NLC to fully embrace dialogue as it seeks to resolve issues bordering on the removal of petrol subsidy. The NLC President Joe Ajaero speaks on what transpired at the meeting.
So on that note, the minister appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress asking for more time for federal government to come out with a position that will be mutually agreeable. But we insisted that the federal government has enough time. And we went back, I joined the meeting hoping that he will consult his principals for us to equally resolve this matter. Before the end of the next 3-4 days, will be for the expiration of the ultimatum. So that was the meeting. Quite friendly.
The NLC president also spoke about their readiness for more talks with the federal government to resolve the issue.
So we agree that the federal government had more than enough time for the past 4 months, and that even if there is commitment, a genuineness of purpose, that between now and the next 3-4 days, issues will be resolved. And we hope that the minister will work with us within these next few days to make sure we resolve the matter. Well, if they invite us for meeting tomorrow, we'll attend.
Mr. Jairo also spoke about a separate meeting of the Trade Union Congress with the federal government.
So the NLC is independent. The TUC is independent. If they like, they come together on an issue that is mutually affecting all of them. But on this issue, if the TUC say that the subsidy removal, does not affect their members, and then NLC say it affects their members, you see that each one will pursue it in their own way. TUC may have a way they are pursuing theirs, and then NLC have a way they are pursuing theirs. What is important is for us to achieve, the aim for which the trade union organization is set up.
Both unions have led separate engagements with the federal government since the warning strike earlier this month. Moving on, a security analyst, Charles Inkotaria, says the recent online video featuring wanted members of a gang and their leader, David Okwara, popularly known as Tubaba, shows a lack of remorse for their criminal actions. As you may know, Tubaba and his gang are wanted in the killing of Auda Divisional Police Officer SP Bako Angbashin. Mr. Inkotaria, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, is now urging security operatives to be strategic in seeking the arrest of the suspects to prevent further casualties.
Obviously, there's no remorse in them. And also, most of these people are under different codes, shams, and drugs. So I don't think they will ever look back, So there is need for the police to come up with a more robust intelligence, network and more surveillance. Obviously, these boys don't sleep with the arms. They have their armories, they have their movement and so on. The police can take advantage on most of these things if they have a proper intelligence and more community relationship. Very important.
Mr. Inkotaria also linked the increasing insecurity in the state to the aftermath of the 2023 general elections. He said many youths were armed during the election with the sole aim of securing victory without adequately considering the societal consequences that would cause.
These boys were highly equipped by their political godfathers, or what do you call them. They were used during the election and within the electoral process time. Now that the election is over, they resort back to their own traits and use the arms within their possession to carry out unnecessary actions and activities that is inimical to the society. The present CP is just reacting. He should be able to create avenues to create a non-kinetic security approach in Rivers State. Otherwise, you can't beat them.
Recall that on Saturday, another video of the gang responsible for the killing of the late SP Bako Angbashim surfaced. In the video, members of the gang were seen pledging allegiance to their leader, David Okpara, also known as Tubaba. It comes 1 week after the police declared the leader of the gang wanted. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has started moves to recover unlicensed firearms from politicians and very important persons. Across the country, it followed the directive of the Acting Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun, who ordered the various state police commands to recover arms in the hands of uncertified bearers. The acting IGP had last week set up an ad hoc committee tasked with the comprehensive review of firearms licensing and regulations by the NPF in line with the Firearms Act and other extant laws. The Police High Command revealed that the committee's mandate would encompass a thorough assessment of current firearms licensing procedures and regulations to enhance their effectiveness, transparency, and accountability. But a security expert, Timothy Avele, argues that mopping up arms with the rising insecurity in the country would achieve little or no result. He advised the police to engage in intelligence-led policing to contain pockets of insecurity across the country. In a separate development, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owonhunwa, has inaugurated a special investigative team over the death of singer Mohbad. At a media briefing, CP Owonhunwa said all videos from social media have been compiled and will serve as tools for the investigation into the alleged torture and death of the singer, whose real name is Ilerioluwa Aloba. He, however, cautioned social media users to allow the police do their investigation.
All facts, including videos, including personalities that have been mentioned, including those not even mentioned that we do know, wherever you are in this world, everybody linked to it will be identified and they will be brought to establish their level of liability. So we want to appeal to the social media activists to please give the police the space to do what we know best, and that is to investigate. And we will investigate and ensure that our investigation is in line with established homicide protocol.
The parents of the late singer and his aunt were present at the inauguration of the investigative team. Recalled that 27-year-old Mohbad died last Tuesday in what the police have called strange circumstances. His death has since sparked outrage, with many demanding justice. The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi, has charged newly appointed magistrates to ensure they are committed to delivering justice. Justice Chibuzo Amadi gave the charge at the opening of a 2-day workshop for the new magistrates of the Rivers State Judiciary at the Justice Mary Odele Judicial Institute. He said the roles of magistrates are important in safeguarding the rights of individuals.
As we delve into topics ranging from evidence-based decision-making and ethical considerations to procedural reforms and the intersection of technology with the legal process, let us remember that our commitment to justice is unwavering. The principles of impartiality and respect for the law form the bedrock upon which our judicial system stands, and it is our responsibility to carry these principles forward in our daily endeavors.
Earlier, the Administrator of Justice Mary Odele Judicial Institute, Justice Anwuri Ken Chikere, in our opening remarks, stressed the need for magistrates to be updated on the rules of practice.
Ensure that there is a quick dispensation of justice, because when justice is quickly delivered, public confidence will grow and the path of justice is assured. In order to achieve this lofty goal, newly appointed magistrates must firstly, as a matter of law, be given updated laws and rules of practice. This, no doubt, can easily empower them to be abreast with the laws and quickly dispense justice to all.
Our correspondent reports that the theme of the workshop is navigating the path of justice. Still to come, Nosdra urged to make public investigation findings on Aleto oil spill. Stay tuned.
Congratulations, Your Excellency. I'm Pusenebo similarly Fubara on your
damage to the people and environment.
They are now discussing the technical issues involved in determining the real impact of that spill. That's the stage we are now, which is what we scientifically would call post-impact, because something happened some time ago, and the trajectory will go depending on the tide. When you now want to carry out a study, it becomes post-impact study. So that's where we are now. And we have asked them, tell us the scope that you want to cover, study, because that's scientific. Tell us this. So we will agree that, okay, this scope of assessment is adequate.
Professor Weogosu urged leaders of other communities affected by oil spill to adopt the Aleto method for getting facility owners to accept responsibility whenever a spill occurs.
It took a lot of time because the community knew their rights and therefore insisted that the right thing was the communities refused to be bought over. Some attempts were made to get some of the communities not to show interest in what the king of Eleme put on ground. When they found out that the resistance was much, they facilitated on a relax. We want other communities to learn from, if you would like to call it the resilience or the knowledge of their native issue, so that they can start changing the modus operandi of the IOCs that always believes in divide and rule.
The professor also asked the National Oil Spill and Detection and Response Agency NOSDRA to make public their findings from their joint investigative venture team on Aleto.
They will say it's human interference, sabotage, blah, blah, blah. But this one, they just couldn't hold on to that. They were convinced that they were responsible. So the JIV report is out, but I don't know if it is in the public domain. But I know it is out with NOSDRA, River State Ministry of Environment. It is also in the purview of the authority and the commission. The JIV is in their possession. What is left is for NOSDRA to ensure that the explanation that was given in that JIV is followed through and corrected.
Our correspondent reports that community leaders and owners of a facility where an oil spill occurred in Etio community in Eleme local government area are expected to visit the scene of the spill again. The chairman of Nigeria Agro-Input Dealers Association, River State Chapter, Godwin Akandu, says premature harvesting of cassava by farmers can lead to starvation. Mr. Akandu said this in an interview with correspondent Onyeka Chiwonsu while reacting to the report that some farmers in Abua Udwa local government area have started harvesting their cassava prematurely to avoid it from being washed away by the floods.
You harvest them prematurely, there is nowhere to store them. It will lead to hunger, and the ones unuprooted within that period will rotting on the soil. To uproot prematurely will not give you the quantity that you're supposed to harvest in a particular plot of land. You know, a farmer supposed not to uproot all what he has in one day. Farmer uproots on instrumental basis, based on how you plant, and then as you are selling, you're also feeding your family. But this one, you are forced by natural disaster, whether you like it or not.
On the palliatives provided by the federal government to farmers, Mr. Akandu said the palliatives only make an impact if they are distributed through farmers' associations.
If they are to distribute such input, it is for farmers, not for political farmers who doesn't know its usage. If you are distributing it through politicians, politicians will equally share it through politicians. They have their ward list, in short. So the chairman will call for the councillors in their respective wards, not the list of farmers. They should have distributed this thing through commodity associations. Why the government will be at the supervisory side of it.
As you may know, as part of its palliatives and efforts at reducing the effect of food shortages across the country caused by the removal of petrol subsidy, the federal government said it procured 100,000 bags of rice, 40,000 bags of maize, and fertilizers to be distributed to farmers across the country. An educationist, Ben Yewusira, says that there is a need for communities to also be involved in safeguarding and securing infrastructure provided by the state government to schools. Dr. Yewusira, who is also a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, said this on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire.
Education is too important to be left solely in the hands of government, and so the involvement of the communities will be required if we need to secure some of those infrastructure. We need some form of collaboration from members of the community, because they are the people who are actually doing this vandalization. People hardly come from outside. And
Satellite television DSTV says it is offering a special package called the DSTV Prestige. A statement from DSTV said it is turning its focus to the world of luxury, where exclusivity reigns and customers seek more than just products to create unique and exclusive experiences. The DSTV Prestige special package has 1 year of non-stop premium entertainment, VVIP customer service, a limited edition gold decoder, and exclusive lifestyle benefits. The statement said said subscribers will enjoy exclusive discounts from Swatch, Nike, Echo Hotel, Polo Luxury, MedPlus, Tommy Hilfiger, Adidas, and others. The statement also said that the DSTV Prestige is a true embodiment of special treatment. It urged those interested to visit dstv.com/prestige to sign up.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
China's top diplomat Wang Yi is visiting Russia as it seeks continued support for its war on Ukraine. Mr. Wang and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov were quoted as saying after a meeting that any bid to end the war must take into account Moscow's interests. A close ally of Moscow, Beijing, is accused of supporting Russia indirectly during the war, which it has denied.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard that the NLC's meeting with the federal government has ended in a deadlock. A recent viral video of the gang behind the killing of the Aoda DPO has stirred comments. The police has moved to recover unlicensed firearms from politicians and VIPs. Nostra has been urged to make public its findings on the investigation into the Aleto oil spill. On the foreign scene, China has sent a top envoy to Russia for security talks. The news was edited by Choma Ezenwa for Rains in Port Harcourt this morning. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Ifeyemi Andrew. Good morning.